Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming to my channel, D versus Debt. This is D and it is Freebie Friday, which means I'm coming at you with some free stuff that I'm gonna be showing you how to do, some free resources, free printables. So basically I like to dig around and either find things to share or make things to share. So for today, I'm gonna be sharing a ton of cute little Thanksgiving printables that I had found. It's like close to 50 different patterns. So I was planning to print out a bunch of them to show you and to make my cash envelopes with. However, my printer pulled this stunt. And so it ran out of ink apparently, even though I just replaced it. So I feel very, very betrayed by my printer. So I'm just gonna be showing you a picture of some of those papers. So this is a picture of the 10 different free digital papers that are available by clicking in the link in my description box below the video. Once you print these out, you're gonna notice that if you scroll to the bottom of the page, there's also more sets of these free printable digital papers. So here's just an overview of some of them. But like I said, there are about 50-ish or so Thanksgiving papers, and they're all just very, very cute, and you can use them for so many different projects. So I'm going to be showing you how to make cash envelopes for Halloween. I did the ones that kind of look like the money is floating in the envelope with just a strip across the middle. With these, I'm going to be showing you how to make peekaboo cash envelopes. So for Thanksgiving, because I have a couple of Thanksgiving savings challenges I'll be working on, I need to make envelopes specifically for those, so I'm going to show you. It's basically like half a pattern paper and then the clear part, so it looks like the money is poking out, so literally like peekaboo as you look at your money. So I like my cash envelopes to measure about 3¼ inches high by about 6½ inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and measure my paper. Because I have to fold it in half to create that cash envelope, then it's going to be about 7 inches by 6½ inches. So I'm just getting the measurements right. And then as you can see, I'm gonna fold it in half, and that literally creates my little pocket for my cash to go into. Now, however, I'm gonna slice it diagonally so that it creates the peekaboo effect. So I'm trying to pick the spot that I'm gonna draw my line on, kind of overthinking it, which I always tend to do. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, especially if it's just for you. So pick whatever makes you happy. So I picked my spot. Now I'm gonna start cutting through it. So now I'm just kind of double checking to make sure my money fits into that little pocket that I created. Looks good. So now I'm gonna cut the bottom 3½ inches off of my laminating sheet. So I'm gonna measure that, chop it off, and that's gonna become the inside of my cash envelope. Now, the outside of the laminating sheet is shiny. The inside is matte. So you're actually going to turn it inside out so that the shiny sheets, the shiny parts of the sheet, are touching each other. And this is to create that pocket because the shiny sides don't stick together. So now I'm looking at how I want my patterns to look. I'm going to create one with 2 different pattern backgrounds and then 2 with the peekaboo effect that have a clear half of it. I'm going to tape down my labels just to make sure that they don't slide around when I run the sheets through the laminator, and just kind of picking the spot where I think that it looks good. So the next step in the process after this then is to start putting your items into the laminating sheet. So I like to put it all the way up against the seam. That way it anchors it in and it won't move around when it's going through the laminator. So now we have to make sure that our inside pocket where the cash goes is a correct measurement. So we have to make sure it's 3¼ inches tall by 6½ inches wide, because those are the measurements I'm using for this particular envelope. You can adjust it to whatever size you like. Just again, make sure that everything lines up appropriately and that the measurements match. So now I'm preparing it to go through the laminator. I double check to make sure that the shiny sheets are touching each other, and I put it all the way up against the seam. And now I've run it through, and I'm going to cut the edges off. I like to leave a little bit of a seam around almost all the sides and the bottom. However, when I cut along the top, as you're going to see, I make sure that it's right on the edge. That way it splits open the lamination and I have access to my pocket inside. So see how it opens up? Now that's where my money can go inside of. And I like to round my edges so that I don't cut myself with a sharp edge. So I run through the corners, make sure they're nice and round, and now I check and make sure that my money fits. So this is the way that my peekaboo envelopes turn out. This is the other peekaboo. And then the last one I made with a solid background. So I like to poke around and find different fun printables that will help you when it comes to budgeting, saving money, all of that stuff. And I hit the jackpot. Here is Hands and Bands YouTube channel. Please make sure and go check her out. So I was super excited when I found that Hands and Bands has a website with so many different printables to choose from. So she is a fellow teacher here in Arizona, and she also has a budgeting YouTube channel, so I'll be sharing her information. I'll also be in my description box sharing the link to the website where you can get a bunch of free printables from her. So I just picked out a few kind of to give you like a rounded out feel of how literally you can have something for all of your budgeting needs. So she had actually shared the savings challenge yesterday, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so perfect, because this is something that my mom is currently struggling with. So I thought for people who are like her and have trouble remembering to drink water or drinking enough water, this would be a great challenge. So this is set and drink your daily water amount. If you don't reach your goal, remove $1 from your spending and move it to a savings or a sinking fund. So I thought this was such a fun idea, and I love the visuals, so this is great. For those of you that are, kind of getting a feel for how to budget, or you want to try different formats, I thought this was a wonderful freebie. She's got everything broken down. So it's your monthly budget. There's a section for your sources of income, for your savings, for your debts like your credit card, student loans, things like that, and then your monthly bills. There's also a notes area, which I think is great. I always find this little area helpful for myself. And then here are your categories broken down. So I thought this was a great freebie. This one, I had gone to Amazon to buy a bunch of funny money so that I wouldn't have as much cash, in my house. And so I was like, oh man, I wish I looked at her website first, because you can actually print out some fake money to stuff into your envelopes if you're uncomfortable with having too many Benjamins lying around in your house. And I like this reflection sheet. Not only is it aesthetically beautiful, like I love the artwork, I think it's just great to stop and reflect. So what are your goals? That's something I'm huge on. Why is it important? What actions need to be taken in order to reach those goals? And then just a reflection to look back on later. So what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you loving? What are you feeling? What are you celebrating? So many cool things to look back on. So for me so far, November's had some milestones, and so it'd be nice to make a note of those, and then months down the road, or maybe even years down the road, flip back and be like, oh yeah, I remember that, or oh my gosh, I've completely forgotten about that. So I think this is so great. So again, this is just a taste of a bunch of different things that she has to choose from. So please go check out her channel, check out her website, which I'll link in my description box, and show her some love. She's also on Instagram as well, so lots of places to follow her. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's freebies, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.